Hello guys and welcome back to Let's Go. Today we're going to be taking the Ninebot Max out for a eco test. I've got a fresh haircut which is making me feel a little bit better, and I said to you guys, do you want to see an eco ride? And majority of you said yes, so we're going to try and do that. I'm not going to be able to do eco all of the time because when I get to the hills and things I need to go into sport. There's no other way around it, but majority of it we're going to do eco, and it's going to be incredibly boring for me but hopefully exciting for you. So let's get started. So taking a look at the app, right, so there is a firmware update 1.1.4. Improved the stability of Bluetooth communication, optimized throttle and brake performance in some cases, and improved firmware stability. So I'm gonna actually update mine. Okay, so now we're updated on there. Hopefully that doesn't take away the Bluetooth, the cruise control for me. I know that some places have. Weak regeneration on there, and we want to go to scooter companion on there as well. There we go. So I know a lot of people have been asking about this. Do not mess with this, just have it off for the maximum speed. So the speed limiter, set it up to off so it stays at the maximum speed. This is just limiting the speed to that particular speed that you set it at. Well, I can already tell you guys that I am incredibly bored already. It is struggling on the slightest hills. It's going to struggle big time here. Oh, yeah. I had to give it a bit of a push. Oh wow. I think next time I flash this, I'm going to flash the eco to have more torque so it gets up to the speed quicker. It might help with the hills as well. This is definitely set so that if you are in a flat city, that you're going to be fine at going this sort of speed. My conditions, it's just not good enough, but let's see what we can do, eh? Like even a minor hill like this and I'm slowing down. It's definitely quicker than walking, but my god, it's painful. My thought process for this is surely because of all the hills, it's having to work a lot harder, so it's not gonna be as efficient as to say if I put it to high torque to get there quicker. It's kind of weird, like because we're going slower speeds, it feels like you can feel the motor turning on and turning off, sending the vibrations through the handlebars. So because there's a massive hill here, I'm going to have to go to sport. There's no way around this. Okay, back to eco. Crest the hill, and hopefully we can recoup a little bit back coming down here. It is a beautiful sunny day, but it's not quite as warm as we'd expect it to be. Okay, we're coming up to another hill, so let's see if the D mode can handle this. I believe last time we came along this bit we were flashing, so we are definitely doing more. We were flashing the first bus, so we're definitely doing more range. There's a lot of management going on though. Oh, this is such a tiny hill and it's slowing down. Oh no, now we're flashing. So we're gonna have to go to D. Definitely going to need sport mode for this bit. Right guys, so we've done 5.4 miles. We're just flashing one now. I'm having to go from eco driving sport to get up these hills and to move around, and it's actually very unbearable. So what I think I'm gonna do is, if we go to the Scooter Companion app and connect that up. Right, so we're at 83%. I've done it's pretty much what we were on par with last time in terms of sport. We're getting a little bit more range, but what I think I'm going to do is go to utilities and actually set it to around 20 kilometers an hour max, but we're going to put it into sport, so we're going to get the torque of the sport so we can get up these hills, but we're not going to go over the maximum of 20 kilometers an hour. Let's see how that fares. As I say, these hills are unbearable, so let's try that one. There we go, so we're in sport, as you can see, and we're stuck at 12 miles per hour, which is 20 kilometers an hour, which is actually a good speed to have. I just couldn't bear the speed before. Well, I couldn't bear the speed getting up the hills. You might be thinking though that I'm using more power, which technically I am, only at the acceleration. Once I'm up to my 12 miles an hour or 20 kilometers an hour, I'm using the same amount as I would be in eco mode, because I'm sustaining that speed. I'm not adding more power to go faster. The faster you go, the more power you need. You also need power to get up to speed quickly, but we need it in this environment. See, there's no way eco would have got up that way. I'm not gonna lie though, this speed is so boring. Oh look, so we've lost 1 bar now. I wasn't paying attention then. Oh, and now we're sort of regained a little bit in. Let's see what we got. So we're at 6.5 miles. We've done probably about 2 miles more. We're at 81%. See, this is the problem when they are trying to regulate and legalize scooters. So most scooters are going, especially in the UK, I think they're regulated to around 20 kilometers an hour or 25 kilometers an hour. And I think in Germany, for instance, they're regulated to 20 kilometers an hour, which is what we're doing now. So 12 miles an hour. Like, this is meant to be an alternative form of transport to get us from A to B safely, happily, and without using dirty fuels. But this is regulating the speed of these isn't the answer. Yes, I think we shouldn't be able to go more than, say, 25 to 30 miles an hour. And I think any speed over, say, 25 miles an hour, you could probably say, right, you need to have insurance to do, which I would happily pay for. Obviously, you're not going to do it on one of these, but 20 miles an hour on one of these is adequate, you know, fine for the purpose. Any more than that, you do need to start adding your suspension and bigger wheels, because if you hit potholes, you're going to have some serious accidents. But this speed is dreadfully painful. It's okay for intercity maybe, but like for out here, no. It needs to be a bit quicker. So I'm not running the lights today. Just to give it more of a fair comparison. I know it's only minor amounts of power being used, but every little bit of power helps. So another thing about regulation is if they regulate this to 20 kilometers an hour, you saw that bike earlier, bikes go more than 15, 20 miles an hour. Like, this has to be able to keep up with what a bike can do in reality. And I don't want to pedal everywhere, because if I'm pedaling to work and I've got to get to work, I don't have showers there to then wash down to get rid of that sweat, and I'm just going to be in smelly clothes all day. So this is why scooters are great, because you can get around clean, cheaply. The initial out cost is a bit expensive, but so is a bike. And especially if you're going for an electric bike, you're looking more than these. And I'm perfectly happy here, comfortable. Just would like that extra speed. So she's flashing on the second bar. So we're doing exactly the same route as we did last time, and I think we had 3 bars when we got to the end here. That's exactly my point. So if we're being restricted to 12 miles an hour, you know, bikes are taking over. Well, look at that, we're exactly where we were last time. Alright, so we've finally gone to our 3rd bar. 3 bars remaining. And we've got 24 miles left and 60% battery. We're flashing on the 3rd bar. So I have noticed now that it's flashing on the 3rd bar. Then when we're going up hills, we are losing a little bit more power. And that sort of coincides with the lack of power when it gets to around 50%. So the scooter would naturally drop by about 2 miles an hour, 2 or 3 miles an hour, and lack a little bit more power when it gets to, say, 50 or 60%. Well, we've just gone to 2 bars and we have done 17.8 miles, and it's showing we've got 40% left. Let's just refresh that. So it's showing we've got 40% remaining and 16 miles to go. Just check the app quickly. We've done 20 point something miles, and I think we cut out on 22 miles with the sport mode, full sport mode everywhere, and we've still got 2 bars to go and we're 35% left, so I'm not sure we're going to run out anytime soon. And I think my GoPro batteries are probably actually going to die before this does, so let's see how that works out. Actually, if you guys know of a way of installing a USB charging point on this scooter, I'd love to be able to do that. That'd be fantastic. Comment down below if you know how to install a USB charging socket. Even though this is so fucking boring, I want speed. You can't deny that it's actually quite impressive that we're still going. You know, yeah, like I would expect it to be flashing another bar by now, and it's still going. It makes you think, if you had all flat terrain like the Netherlands or something, how far could you go on it? And for this scooter to be over a year old, abused the way that I abuse it, I've never ever done this sort of, you know, I've done it for short periods of time, but not this length in this particular thing. I was expecting the battery to lose a good, you know, good amount of capacity in there. Oh, there we go, and it's just started flashing just as we speak about it. I'll give you an update when it flashes onto just 1 bar. Alright guys, so we're at 1.5 bars, and we've done 23.8 miles, which is definitely more than what we did last time. And let's get the Ninebot app open. Apparently we've got 25% left, and we're 9.9 miles left. We're around 4 miles from home. So maybe we head back and scoot around a bit there. Okay, so we are now at 1 bar. Let's check how many miles and things we've done. Oh, added a little bit of regen. So just to remind you, regen is on week, and let's reset that. Okay, we're at 20% now. Apparently 8 miles range left, or 8.6. I'm gonna say we're probably gonna get another 4 miles out of this, and let's see what we've done. So we've done 24.8 miles over 3 hours. And don't forget, it's not easy terrain for this scooter that I'm taking it on. A lot of the terrain that I have locally to me is, well, worse than this, as you've seen. And I've got a lot of hills and things, so you know, I'm very impressed, especially with, you know, as I say, what I've done with it. So as you guys may have known or heard from recently, or looking at my community post, I have started a new job, and it means that I have to work, you know, 6 days one week, 4 days the next. And the days that I work 4 days, I get the weekend off and I spend it with my children, so I can't really do too many videos around that time. So this is Monday, and this is my regular day off, and I hopefully be doing the videos, or creating videos on a Monday, uploading for a Friday. And I need your guys' help to give me inspiration on what to do next. If there's any companies out there that want to help sponsor the channel, please do. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you can find me an electric bike that that I can range test, I would happily do that as well. I would quite like a mountain bike, an electric mountain bike that allows me to run full electric when I want to, have the power when I need it. So let me know down in the comments. At the moment I am trying to search for an electric car as well. Electric cars and electric vehicles is a passion, and it's amazing where they've come in the last 5 years. I'd be interested to see what they do in the next 5 years. My only issue is that with the current budget that I have, I'll be looking at probably a Zoe, but with a battery lease, and I don't really want a battery lease. I want to know that I'm going to own the battery potentially down the future. I don't want to pay £49 a month to only do 4,500 miles a year. If I do say 10,000 miles a year, I think it's £109 a month. And my mileage does vary, it changes. It hasn't in the last year because of everybody in lockdown and COVID. But I want to be able to, I don't need a massive car. I'd like a massive car, but I don't need a massive car. So I need, a Zoe would suit me fine. I'd plug it in everywhere I go. And I think 2017 models onwards come with upwards of around 200 miles range. And that's adequate for most people's needs. People want range. No, they don't want range. They want the convenience of being able to just chuck fuel in it every couple of minutes. Like take a couple of minutes to chuck fuel in it. They don't need the range. So if a car only had 100 miles range, but you can chuck all the fuel in it to get that 100 miles within a couple of minutes and off you go, then people wouldn't mind stopping every sort of 2 or 3 times on a longer journey. It's the same with electrics. They wouldn't have that issue. But for me right now, I don't do the mileage, and I'm happy to stop for half an hour at a time, an hour, to have a nice break on a journey. If I'm doing that long journey, it's about the journey that gets you there, not the race. Yesterday I'm a little bit bored because I'm doing 12 miles an hour, but I'm actually enjoying it. The air's nice, I'm impressed, and the sun's out, so I can't really complain. If the weather was bad, then yeah, I probably wouldn't do it. It all comes down to perspective. As I say, it's not the range, it's the convenience of filling up. And there are cars now that charge from 10% to 80% within 20 minutes. That's amazing. The technology has come a long way with that. But then there's downsides to that as well. You can't charge a car like that constantly. If you charge a car like that continuously, you get, like, every time you stop and charge a car really fast, you're pumping a lot of heat into it, and the batteries do not like the heat. There are things that mitigate it. For instance, Tesla have put water cooling in there. I know a couple of other companies have, but the batteries still need to dissipate that heat very, very quickly to maintain a good solid state, a solid temperature state. But yeah, I'd absolutely love, I want more scooters, more electric bikes, or get an electric bike. Electric car is what I'm going to use mostly. But then, what about hydrogen? Isn't hydrogen viable? No, not really. There's like two hydrogen stations in the whole of the UK, and there's probably more, but like 2 major ones that everybody knows about. Hydrogen cars are stupidly expensive. takes a lot of money to manufacture hydrogen. Why don't we just burn the liquids or the fossil fuels at the power station where they get most energy efficiency out of it? And we've gone red. Let's try and save a little bit more power. Here, hydrogen costs a lot of money to manufacture. It's convenient for people because they can fill it up quickly. I think where hydrogen would make sense is lorry filling stations, and only lorry filling stations where there's not the general public about and they need quick fuel, you know, and maybe bus stations. But I just don't believe that for cars hydrogen is the way to go. It's got to be electric. Right, will I be getting home or will I be pushing? Leave your comments down below. I think I may be pushing, but I'll put it back in the eco for the time being to just give it a smooth acceleration. But we've still got a hill to go up, so I might be pushing up that and then scooting the rest of the way home. If you're liking this video, please press that thumbs up. It's going to help me out a lot. It's going to get my content out there. Let me know what you want to chat about. If you want me to chat on a specific subject whilst we're out on the scoot, on future range tests, if we get more scooters and bikes and things like that, let's have a chat about something. Let's, you know, give me a topic. I've still got to figure out how to edit this video yet, because I've got that new Windows machine, the Legion. If you want to see a video on that, please leave a comment as well. All right, so we're at 27 miles, 3 hours 10 minutes in, and let's get rid of that one. So apparently we've got 2.4 miles, 6%, so it's got about a mile. I reckon I'm going to be pushing. Let's just reset that. Got 7%, 3 miles. Oh no, it's gone and changed again. Yeah, so I reckon about a mile left in it, and I think we're going to be pushing. Just a word of warning, please don't run your scooters out often, because that's where your battery is going to get damaged. The BMS is clever enough to try and cut that off before that happens, but you don't want to be risking it too often. I'd say bring it down to a maximum of, say, 5 to 10%. I know that there's a buffer either side that allows you, you know, so say you've got 100% capacity. Well, in reality, they're limiting you to about probably 60 to 80% of that capacity. So but that 60 to 80% capacity shows as 100% on the app, and that's where you probably get the 40 miles from, or how they got the 40 miles. And I think we've got some fellow scoots. You alright?
Yeah.
This hill is going to absolutely kill the range, but see what we can do here. Come on, get me home. All I need is it to get me home. Right, as much coasting as we can. Showing 3%. It's going to die any moment now, guaranteed. There we go, she's just cut out. So, let's see what we've done. We finished off on 28.6 miles. It's taken 3 hours and 22 minutes. It's a very respectable range, considering the climate that I live in. And luckily, it's all downhill from here. So we switch back on a little bit, so I might be able to get a little bit of regening by pushing. Look at that, we've got some juice left in it. Just a little bit of regen. See how far that gets us. Oh, she's going again for a little bit. Oh. And there we go, fully dead. So guys, how amazing was that? Just under 29 miles range in, it was eco mode essentially. We can't go to the top speed. It was unbearable having to push it and constantly change the settings on there every time I needed to go up a hill. So the easiest solution was to open up the Scooter Companion app, set it to 20 kilometers max, which is 12 miles an hour, which is what most rental scooters I think are set at. So that was actually a really good test to see how much range I'd get out of it, especially with the terrain that I have to navigate, the hills. As you can see, we've got massive hills here. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, it helps me out a lot. And if you have any products that you would like me to take a look at, if there's any companies out there that would like to sponsor this channel, please contact me via the email link down below and I'd be happy to take a look. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.